The New York Yankees have been pretty disappointing lately, to say the least. Just about a month ago, they had the best record in baseball, and it wasn't close. But as we stand today, that is no longer the case, as the Dodgers have surpassed them and are running away with the best record in baseball. And in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Yankees top to bottom, and towards the end of the video, I'm going to go over whether I think they should be worried or not. So let's get right into the video. First, let's take a look at New York offensively. They are clearly one of the best offensive teams in baseball, as they currently have a 776 team OPS, which ranks second in all of baseball, and 186 home runs, which ranks first. Aaron Judge is having an MVP caliber season in which he may break the single season home run record. On the year, Judge is hitting .301 to go along with 44 home runs and 11 stolen bases. DJ LeMahieu has had a very quiet but very good season, as on the year he's hitting .291 to go along with 12 home runs and 4 stolen bases. In his first full season in New York, Anthony Rizzo is showing up, as he's hitting .227 to go along with 27 home runs and 6 stolen bases. Giancarlo Stanton, who is currently on the IL with an Achilles injury, on the year was hitting .228 to go along with 24 bombs. Andrew Benintendi, who they picked up at the trade deadline from Kansas City, is hitting .305 to go along with 3 home runs and 6 stolen bases. Gleyber Torres is having a bounce-back campaign, as on the year he's hitting .256 to go along with 16 bombs and 5 stolen bases. Josh Donaldson, who has been up and down throughout the season, is hitting .222 to go along with 11 home runs. Matt Carpenter has been one of the most single surprising players in baseball this year, as he's hitting .307 to go along with 15 home runs. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has also been a pretty underrated bat in this lineup, as on the year he's hitting .274 to go along with 15 stolen bases. And of course, you can't forget about Jose Trevino, who has been one of the most surprising players along with Matt Carpenter, as on the year he's hitting .268 to go along with 10 home runs, and he's really been a lot better than New York was expecting behind the plate. And lastly, I want to mention Harrison Bader, who they picked up from St. Louis at the deadline. On the year before getting injured, he was hitting .256 to go along with 5 home runs and 15 stolen bases. Like I said before, Bader is injured. He's currently on the IL with a foot injury, but he is expected to be back in September, and he's going to provide a big boost for them in the outfield defensively. So like I said before, New York is one of, if not the best offense in baseball, as they have no problem scoring runs. Now let's take a look at the Yankees on the pitching side of things. Pretty much all season long, the Yankees have had one of the best starting rotations in all of baseball, but lately they've been having issues. But overall, they still have very good numbers, as they currently have a 3.33 team ERA, which ranks third in all of baseball. Garrett Cole has been a little shaky lately, but he still has very good season-long numbers, as on the year in 131 innings, he has a 3.56 ERA to go along with 170 punch-outs. Nestor Cortes, yet another big surprise for New York, on the year in 112 innings, has a 2.57 ERA to go along with 115 strikeouts. Jameson Taillon in 114 innings has a 3.96 ERA, who has been a little bit shaky as of late. Luis Severino, prior to sustaining a lat injury on the year in 86 innings, had a 3.45 ERA. Severino was a big piece to this rotation, and he is expected to be back mid-September. Frankie Montas, who was probably New York's biggest trade deadline pickup, on the year in 108 innings has a 3.59 ERA to go along with 111 strikeouts. Domingo Germán, who has been starting in place of the injured Luis Severino, on the year in 18 innings has a 5.09 ERA. So even with their recent struggles, this rotation is still one of the league's best. Now let's take a quick look at New York's bullpen. As we stand today, they have a 3.01 bullpen ERA, which ranks second in all of baseball. Clay Holmes, who was probably the league's best reliever in the first half, on the year in 47 innings has 17 saves to go along with a 2.12 ERA. Aroldis Chapman, who has been New York's closer in years past, doesn't look the same this year, as in 25 innings he has a 4.26 ERA to go along with 9 saves. They also picked up Lou Trevino in the Frankie Montas deal, who had closed out some games for Oakland this year, as on the year he has 10 saves to go along with a 5.86 ERA. I also want to mention Michael King. He is out for the year with an elbow injury, but prior to getting injured, he was very productive, as in 51 innings he had a 2.29 ERA. And I also want to list off a couple of other relievers who all have a sub-3 ERA. We have Clark Schmidt, JP Sears, Ron Marinaccio, Wandy Peralta, Lucas Luetge, and Albert Abreu. So similar to the starting rotation, this bullpen has had its ups and downs lately, but is still one of the league's best. Now, to officially answer the question of whether I think they should be worried or not, I think they should. Since June 24th, the Yankees have a 19-22 record, which happens to be worse than the Reds over that span. And the Reds are clearly a team that's not trying to compete. In fact, they are selling off all their assets and tanking. They did pick up a big win against Seattle last night, but prior to that, they got swept by St. Louis, and they just don't look the same. They still have the best record in the American League at 71-39, but the Astros are not far behind at 70-40. They still have a comfortable 10.5 game lead over the Blue Jays in the American League East, so they don't have anything to worry about in terms of the AL East. But they do have to worry about the Astros, who in my opinion are the best team in baseball. In fact, the Astros have won 5 of the 7 meetings between them in New York this year, so clearly the Astros have the Yankees number. And another team I think they have to even keep an eye out for is the Blue Jays. Like I said before, the Blue Jays aren't going to take the AL East crown, but I do think the Yankees should be worried if they match up with Toronto in the postseason, considering how dangerous their offense is. So considering how high expectations are for the Yankees this year, I do think they should be worried, considering it's pretty much World Series or bust. I don't think they should be favored over the Astros, and the Blue Jays are yet another team that I think they should be worried about come October. Let me know what you think of the Yankees down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.